All right, Texans and Colts. Man, this is we talked about it earlier.
Oh man,
96 points. 96. This is the headline to me. Okay, it's not the Yates versus Hasselbeck.
Oh come on, that's
humor.
That's the story.
The headline is the Indianapolis defense giving up 96 points in the last 2 weeks. This has to have some sort of ramification on the Texans' offense. Do you agree? Do you not agree? You guys are the.
I apologize.
The mics talking to the puffy black things in front of you.
Yeah.
Is this thing on?
The question is really who's going to pick it up, because last week we can joke all we want about the Jaguars, the Jaguars being
People
that way.
are so mad at you right now.
But
Me?
No, him. We'll go. We can keep calling him the Jaguars.
Who would be the guy from? I mean, you got DeAndre Hopkins could completely go off. But are you confident just because it's the Colts starting one of these running backs? I'm not.
It's impossible to be confident, but can you look at the situation and see Denard Robinson having success last week? It's probably Polk. Grimes was more efficient, but Polk got the start from the staff and Blue was out playing special teams. So I've looked at that. I had Grimes a little higher on my waiver priority because of big play. I think Polk's safer because he was given the start.
Last week, I said that it was going to be Polk, and I think I was right there. I think this week it's going to be Grimes.
You mean given the start or just the better?
The more carries. I think Grimes going to get the actual more carries in this game because of game flow. Polk is a guy that throughout the majority of the year has been a guy coming in on pass catching downs and things like that. That doesn't seem like what's going to happen against the Colts to me. As much.
2 weeks ago, Polk was 12 for 61, 5.1 a carry. This past week, he was 11 for 34, 3.1 a carry, catches a couple balls. Grimes caught a couple passes. Grimes was 7 for 53, had a really good week. I don't think I'd want to start any of them. But if I got news, let me give you an example. If I got news that Whitaker, who I'm having to roll out there because of my situation, that he's going to only have a handful of carries. He's going to be really sharing with Artis Payne. I might play Polk.
So you would play Polk over Grimes?
Yeah.
I would play Grimes over Polk, but that's my point. Is I think this is a situation we have to steer clear from. In week 15,
96 points over 2 weeks. They're going to be in the red zone. They're going to have opportunities in the red zone. Jonathan Grimes is a smaller guy. I think Polk would get those carries. Just putting it out there into the fantasy stratosphere. Mike has nothing to say on the matter whatsoever. He's just sitting there.
I was watching two Titans go head to head with some stellar analysis of Chris Polk versus Grimes.
These things matter. They're going to win you your week or they're not. They might lose me my week against Jason. All right, so TJ Yates has upside?
Yes.
Because he's facing this defense that's 29th against the pass, 25th against the run. Doesn't he have streaming upside?
Yes. He does.
Let's say Eifert's out. Do you like Yates or McCarron?
McCarron.
You know, the Colts are at home, so both teams are on. You know, McCarron and Yates are on the road. AJ Green, DeAndre Hopkins, a defense that in San Francisco that at home has been a lot better than the Colts.
Yeah, I think
Just throwing it out there.
I would probably go Yates.
I can completely see the argument with DeAndre Hopkins. I got no problem if you want to go Yates, but I would go McCarron. And if you want to touch that button, you can go ahead and touch that button.
Are you in with me?
Water bet.
This has a
Yates versus McCarron.
This is based off
bet of the year.
Eifert. I thought you said if Eifert is out.
Well,
that's where I was going.
I'll just take it straight up, in or out.
Yeah,
straight up. This is just be me and Andy.
All right.
Yeah, straight up. Yates, McCarron. I don't hate McCarron in 2 quarterback leagues as a streamer. I don't. I just think that the Texans are going to win this game. I think that the Colts are going the wrong direction right now, and they just don't have a lot of weapons on offense. You're going to not have Moncrief most likely. You can't run the ball with a beat up Gore right now. I don't know what they're going to do.
This is as important a game as possible for these two teams.
I was going to say for this week, this is a playoff.
Yeah, this is a playoff game.
Yep. Boy, we got 3 more matchups to get through before our starts of the week. You think we can do that, or do you want to knock one over to tomorrow?
Well, let's keep going and see how far we get.
The Bears head to Minnesota. Take on the Vikings. Cutler, Bridgewater.
Who are you going to start?
I'm not starting either guy.
Really? I think I'm okay playing Jay Cutler. I want to hear some reports of how the
Alshon Jeffrey.
Oh, I forgot
If
about
Alshon Jeffrey's banged up.
I thought that's what you were going to say. Is you want to hear more reports on Alshon Jeffrey?
I want to hear more reports on Jeffrey, and I want to hear more reports on the Vikings defense.
The Vikings defense did not collapse last week.
I understand that they did not collapse last week, but can they sustain? We've seen these things happen where a team can rally for a game or two. So this will be the second one if they're missing all those starters in a divisional game. A team that the Bears know the Vikings very well. They know the flaws and the weaknesses. So can they take advantage of that?
Fair enough. Vikings are at home. The Vikings are an interesting fantasy team because you start. I think you start nobody on that team except for Adrian Peterson.
Correct.
Is there anybody you would even think about starting?
No chance.
All right. So on the other side of the ball, Matt Forte is locked and loaded.
No.
Yep.
No.
Yes, and that's what I wanted to talk about.
What?
When I say no, you say yes.
Yes, I wanted to bring up the conversation of the Chicago backfield so that we actually had been tweeted at by some of our listeners saying, hey, can you guys talk about Matt Forte, how confident you are? I saw you actually respond to one of those and say you are locked and loaded with Matt Forte. Now, I am not saying no that I wouldn't start Matt Forte. I've got him.
He's a one.
Yeah.
For you.
Yeah. But let's talk about the backfield because he got a touchdown the last 2 weeks, which is why we're thinking of him as locked and loaded. He had fewer carries last week than Jeremy Langford.
That's fair.
He got 10 carries. Jeremy Langford got 11 carries. They are really starting to split that workload there. And if Matt Forte goes and doesn't get a touchdown, Matt Forte is not going to be that valuable against a Minnesota run D. I mean, he had 10 for 45 last week. You take away that touchdown, and he just crapped your team.
I think it does have a lot to do with whether those linebackers are available for Minnesota. He's locked and loaded for me. But your argument, it hit home. It hit right here.
I'm sorry.
Because when you see a carry count of 10 carries, it makes you a little concerned.
And I just dove in a little bit deeper, which I had not looked at. Apparently, I did not realize this. Langford got 7 targets last week. That's Forte's role. Forte's the pass guy. That's what he does.
Yeah,
but he got 2 targets.
Forte caught 1 ball last week.
Yeah, the week before he had 5.
Sure. I mean, that's the thing. We don't know. But when you're talking about all of a sudden, Forte's been so golden because...
But who are you really going to start over him in that situation?
That's
because
the issue.
That's the problem. There's not... I mean,
I'll tell
Denard
you,
Robinson. Let me ask you that. One of these... Denard Robinson, Tim Hightower... Fozzie Whitaker.
Matt Forte over all of them. And I'll tell you the truth. When I did my rankings, and I published them yesterday, Matt Forte was so low that it scared me on my rankings. And I took a look. And
Do we have that sound?
Yeah.
Do we have the scary sound?
You mean the... Duh!
Yeah. And I took a look and I said, would I really start all of these guys? You're naming the guys. It was Tim Hightower and Denard Robinson and Frank Gore and Latavius Murray. Would I really start those guys over Forte? And I had to wrestle with that, and I said, no, I wouldn't. Now, I think there's reason to possibly do that, and I'm scared of Forte. But that's why I moved him up, and that's why right now Forte is, like you said, ranked as an RB1 in the back end of the RB1. Yeah, it's a matter of, I mean, Forte still has the higher upside, so you've got to start Forte. But I'm scared for you. Forte
That's
interesting.
Gut check.
Yeah.
Gut check time if you're looking at starting Denard Robinson over Forte, because the matchup and the volume says that's the right thing to do. But are you okay having Forte on your bench and losing?
So, because we have so much time on the show, we're wearing our Foot Clan Star Wars t-shirts today.
The Foot Clan Awakens.
Which, by the way, you can actually get them on thefantasyfootballers.com, but that's not why I'm bringing it up. This is not a shameless plug for our shirts. I put stars on this shirt, okay? Because it's Star Wars. There's stars on the shirt. Every time I look down, I think I got bad dandruff.
I know. Every time I'm like, oh, there's lint.
I can't wipe these little stars off my shirt.
I'm not sure if you've ever been to Advertising 101, but when you talk about your glorious shirt that we have available,
you don't say dandruff,
and then you feel like I feel like I got dandruff all over my shirt. That's
you too can have the feel. Maybe you've got some dandruff issues. This is the shirt for you.
Cover it up.
If your dandruff could fall up and become stars,
We'd like to thank tomorrow's sponsor,
Head and
Shoulders. Yes. We're just pre-plugging Head and Shoulders. Great.
Yes, let's set up opportunity here. Mike he doesn't even know what's going on. Mike is...
You got the fantasy dandruff.
All right, let's get one more game.
Titans
and then let's move.
at the Patriots. That cannot be the line. That is not the line. That is a wrong line.
That you have to be correct.
What, the favored by 3?
Yeah,
that
this
is
says
absolutely
Patriots favored by 3. And the
unadulteratedly
Patriots, I think
wrong.
you're missing a 0 after the 3. I'm pretty sure that's accurate. Patriots favored by 3.
So talk about that game, and I'll get the right line so that we know what the heck.
Well,
is going on.
you've got Julian Edelman that we talked about early. That's going to make I think an improvement for Brady. I expect him to be there. It's going to be a downgrade for Amendola. So watch the Edelman news. If Edelman is in, I would start.
And you're right. It's 13, 12.5, 13.
There you go. And if he's out, I'm still very confident with Amendola. Obviously, with LeGarrette Blount being gone, they've got to change some of what they're doing. And there's...
I think Brady, man.
Yeah,
Brady's going to be good this week. And you're sagging your head because I'm playing him against you.
Yeah, I know.
If James White's in the backfield and Gronk's back on the field, practiced in full yesterday, and Edelman's back. Did you see they signed Jason? Just he's gone.
He's put his
Mike
team
and I
down
are
to
left.
pasture.
You know he's gone yet tomorrow.
Yeah, I will not be here tomorrow.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Thanks, bud.
Leonard Hankerson was signed. Leonard Hankerson was signed by the Patriots. Leonard
Wasn't
Hankerson
he hurt?
He just was put
He's
on
not-
IR, but then was released from IR and picked up.
He's healthy.
Yeah, that's
But he
weird.
was on IR.
That's correct. But
like
he
a
is not on
mistake.
IR anymore.
And whoops.
I would not doubt that he has a contribution if Brandon LaFell keeps butterfingering the ball away.
I would doubt it. I would strongly doubt it.
You know what dawned on me? Like I was looking at that, I go, "Oh, they must want another guy who drops the ball like crazy." What? You already have Brandon LaFell. Why are you bringing in Hankerson? That's what I thought.
That's true. That's true. Hankerson has had some bad drops this year. Is there anybody on the other side of the ball that you would roll the dice with?
Mariota, if you're struggling for a QB.
Delaney Walker.
Delaney Walker, yes.
Yeah, well, Walker's an auto start, but I'm just saying. So Mariota, the Patriots defense has been great, so he's not a guy I'm advising. But in a pinch, you've at least seen what he can do, running the ball, throwing 4 touchdowns a game. So you could do worse.